and welcome back to Gehenna Gaming and Darker Days Radio plays Wrath and Glory, the Warhammer 40,000 RPG. And I'm one of the hosts of Darker Days Radio and Darkhammer Chris, and I'm joined as always by Ian from Gehenna Gaming.
Hello.
I'm joined by David from Darker Days Radio and Darkhammer.
Hello.
And I'm joined by Crystal from Darker Days Radio.
Hello.
And we're joined by Mike, who also appears on Darker Days Radio and Darkhammer.
Mm-hmm.
And we are missing Chig for this episode, so we will assume that that his sister of battle has likely gone off to mostly being distracted by some bit of heresy going on somewhere. Mostly, you know, seeking out a vision, distracted by something, given there is a lot of nightmares and visions going on currently in our story, which is called Sleepwalker, which is from Dark Tides, which is Wrath and Glory 1.0, and we are just playing a updated version with tweaks and modifications to make it fit the 1.5 rule set. Pardon me. Right. Where did we leave it last time? You guys were basically stood at a platform on the outside of the hive, looking down at the thrashing waves of the oceans of Charybdion as they are far below from your platform. And there is a bridge that is also below you that leads over to the Iron Watch prison, a huge watchtower which is being used to house all of the rogue psychers that are emerging, that are awakening on Charybdion due to the influence of the Secretix Maledictum, the Great Rift, which is roiling in the night skies above you, if you could see it, because of course you're on a hive world and you're on an ocean world and the atmosphere is electric, quite literally. There are strikes of thunderstorms and lightning strikes as they hit the hive, being taken away by galvanic power stations to power the endless factories of Hive Iden. We obviously have Ian's character, who is Weir, who is a death cult assassin. We have Crystal playing our commissar. We have David playing our
Guitarius.
Yes, I knew Adeptus Mechanicus, part machine, part man. And of course, we have Mike playing our Beastman, who is an abhuman with horns, cloven feet, and generally looks a little bit mutated. And so you have journeyed through a region of the hive known as the Waterline District, where you've heard numerous reports of things going wrong, going bad, and various murders, people falling asleep and not waking up. You've encountered numerous things, including the shadowy Eldari, who are somewhere within the hive, up to their own no good. And of course, you headed to the Enforcer Station to find out what was going on, and you last read and left there reading a data slate by Sidiru, who is an enforcer, and his data slate, the most recent entry, said, "There must be a cause for the sleeping sickness sweeping over the district. The Medicae says this disease, if that's what it is not biological in origin, which leaves few options, all of which are terrifying. Violence, screaming, nightmares, the whole district is affected. Even my fellow enforcers are not immune to this infection of the mind. I must not fall asleep until I find its origin. May the Emperor guide me. It seems to be centered on the Iron Watch prison complex, which locals call the Black Lighthouse. So many psychers, we had to house them there somehow. Has something broken loose in Iron Watch? I must investigate further. Records indicate a rogue psyker named Scotinas Andras was brought to the Black Lighthouse just days before the sleepers were reported. There seems to be too solid a link to just be coincidence. Tired, but I must not fall asleep. I need to get to the lighthouse. I mean, the Iron Watch, before the riots grow worse. I will report my findings when I return." And that was the end of his last entry. So you are looking down on the bridge to the gates of the Iron Watch lighthouse, and of course, milling around on this bridge are numerous hivers, scum and workers and general denizens of the underhive, and seemingly shambling around as if they were sleepwalking. And before this all happened, I believe Rufio had a psychic attack, an assault, where he was covered in insects.
Oh gosh. I almost fell if someone hadn't grabbed me. I think it was Sister Mariana that grabbed me.
Yeah. So she mostly wrenched you up from falling off the platform, and interacting with that has led to her being overcome by a vision, and she has set off into the hive, seeking out something. She's proclaiming she's had a vision from the God Emperor that something else is at work.
All right.
Well, Commissar, should we just let Sister Mariana go do what she's got to do?
She has a holy crusade that she must do. She must fulfill whatever she was told to fulfill.
Well said, Commissar. Well said. So, seems as though with so many of these hivers on the bridge, we might want to take a stealthier approach to get inside. What do you all think?
Are the hivers paying any attention to us at all?
No, well, not from where your location is currently. Sorry, I'm playing around because my computer obviously other computers rebooting. Yes, nothing currently going on right now. You're hundreds of feet above them right now, and not hundreds of feet, but you're well above them by a few levels. You would need to work your way down via the rusting, rickety gantryways and staircases down. Or you could find some other way over to the lighthouse. There are numerous power lines that crisscross this area, because next to the lighthouse in this district is one of the many galvanic arrays, which essentially channels lightning storms into the underhive power system.
Is it just? It's just people milling around down there, isn't there? There's not any kind of obvious leader or something.
No, there's nothing obvious. They're all They're all asleep by the mysterious sleeping sickness that has overtaken them.
Yes, but we all know that these sleepwalkers can be prone to rioting, to violence, and we don't want to start that at all. So I think a silenter approach, or maybe Weir might be able to distract them or something. I don't know. Weir, what do you think? What's your analysis of the situation? Our man of few words.
Weir's distraction would be to kill them all. I mean, it's effective. Don't get me wrong.
There's no problem with this. The flesh is weak.
The problem is do we really want to drain ourselves for anything possibly that we're going to face within the lighthouse?
I do not get tired.
I know you don't.
But there is a gantry. Easy.
We could scale the lines.
Sure.
There are power lines you could scale up to. Potentially dangerous given the lightning storms that are constantly going on, that you could get struck as you're clambering along.
Or we could just fight through. Either way.
The question with that is assuming whether the sleepwalkers will react aggressively to you. You have no idea.
Should we send Ian to find out? Rufio, want to take an outing? I'll just walk behind you, ready to push you off the reach.
I'm gonna
know?
Start moving forward.
So you're gonna head down the gantry way.
Yeah, but I'm gonna roll stealth. I'm gonna try to avoid interacting with sleepwalkers, staying out of their line of sight, so to speak.
Sure.
Where'd Weir go? Where'd Weir go?
I mean, we could all try to stealth. I'm not going to succeed, but
I'm not going to succeed.
That would be 5 with 1 exalted icon.
Okay,
Jeez.
let's remember that your wrath points haven't reset, but your glory points do reset, and my ruin today is 5 because there's only 5 of you, 4 of you, sorry. So let's just mark my glory down. Do you want to shift that into glory, or how many successes does that mean you've got in total? Sorry.
That would give me... I have 5 in total with the exalted icon.
Yeah. Okay. You could shift the exalted into a glory point to keep for later. You've got more than enough successes. Trust me. They're sleepwalkers. They're not going to notice you.
Yeah, I'll shift that.
Yeah.
All right.
And you sneak down. You are at one with the shadows in your voluminous but cloaking, black cloak, darker than dark, blacker than black, and you sneak away. And they don't pay attention to you. You have to weave and bob through the crowd as you realize they're all looking towards the lighthouse itself. As if drawn to it. And as you get closer, as you work your way along the bridge, it is clear that they get more packed together as you get closer to the main gate to the lighthouse.
Now that I'm closer, I want to look for a way in that they aren't congregating at, and also if there's an path to get there.
The alternative path would be to potentially scale along the edge of the bridge. So you would go over the side of it and have to shimmy along.
Do I feel like Fortran managed? Because the other two, I have a little bit more confidence in their agility.
Or just being quiet and stealthy?
That's really that's a really difficult question.
Okay. I will return via that path and come out of stealth. It just so I'm like in gesture.
I guess Weir points to the side of the bridge, and you could shimmy along. You would have to obviously navigate the numerous kind of like gargoyles and effigies of saints which protrude along that route. You would mostly be grasping at the faces of very worn Aquila symbols, faces of eagles, grabbing onto swords and shields of these ancient monuments. And given it's on the outside of the hive, there is the danger that some of these effigies are crumbling and rusting and decaying after centuries, if not thousands and thousands of years of standing there, worn away by the sea air.
Well, I think
I'm screwed either way we go in. I'm making noise or falling off, so...
Yeah, well... Weir, I know you don't like to talk much, but is there anything else? Any other ideas? Any other ways we get through here based on what you saw?
I gesture to the people sleepwalking.
I mean, maybe we can just walk through them, as long as we walk very slowly, casually, try to blend in.
Yeah.
I just nod as he says that.
Clanking is maybe okay.
Density.
I mean,
Rushing too many bodies.
Pretend that you are enthralled.
Sleepwalkers are like bumping into each other a little bit, or are they actually moving kind of nimbly?
Well, the sleepwalkers. Oh no, they're bumping into each other. They have no sense of each other in that respect.
Oh, so if they're bumping into each other, they might not actually even notice us.
I'm just worried that when we get to that door, it's going to be so packed full of people.
The plague of Nurgle now descends upon you. Sorry, I had a sneeze. No. Carry on. Sorry.
Fortran. That's why the Rogue Trader and the Emperor has empowered us to investigate this, because we will be able to handle whatever is thrown at us when we get to those doors.
I can handle it. I'm worried about you.
I'm stronger than you. I'll be okay. All right, everyone, let's go. And
So you're
after
clamber,
the scathing words of David, of ID Fortran, Rufio is just going to march down and just try to walk through the people.
I'm just because I know this is going to go wrong. ID Fortran gets his galvanic rifle out and starts following Rufio. And people he walks past, because I know he's going to cock it up at some point.
I'm gonna continue leveraging my stealth and slip around so I can keep an eye on them, but I'm not right next.
Okay, you let's say you all need to make, if you're going that route, you need to make a athletics test to push through, because you're not being stealthy, you're just essentially trying to nimbly move around people.
Oh yeah, I'm good.
I'm standing at the back. I ain't going anywhere near these people at the moment.
The 5 and a 6.
I'm gonna do the horrendous thing of split the party at the moment.
That's what I'm doing. It's a 5s and 6s.
Fortran actually, so he has
What successes?
Yeah, right.
4, 5s, and 6s.
Oh, okay. Never mind. 6 with 2 exalted icons.
Wow. Do you want to bank one of those?
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
Or do you want to bank both?
Sorry.
I mean, how many successes do you get total?
I actually only have 2 if I bank both of them.
Okay, bank one of them, yeah.
Only be with
Mike?
I'm gonna do the 8 successes.
Is there anything you can bank?
I could, but I don't want to.
Yeah, because you've got enough exalted. You can, I mean, remember exalted, you can shift it to essentially be narrative declaration as well. So in this respect, you've got enough.
Sure.
You've got enough to say you dodge past.
Sure.
In a nice way.
The sleepwalkers just part as Rufio marches through.
Yeah, you basically time it right. Weaving through the crowd. What about Danica?
Moving with ID Fortran.
Right. Are you rolling your athletics?
I could. Let's see here.
I'm not moving. I am literally watching Rufio because I just think he's going to cock it up. So I'm standing at the bridge.
You know what? No, I'm going to test a theory. I'm just going to walk through.
Okay. You're going to still have to make athletics roll then.
Okay. So I have 1 exalted icon and a 1 on the wrath dice.
Ooh.
Fortran is glad he did not go this way. He computed the probabilities of it going bad. It has.
Right. Danica, you are shuffling through the crowd, and it gets more and more packed the closer you get to the gate. You don't bump into each other because technically you've got enough successes, but something obviously goes wrong. You're there, like you're keeping your wits together. You're darting between groups, and you take a step back. And for a moment, there's a flash of lightning, and you're partially blinded in that moment. And you step back a bit too far, and the wall behind the wall behind you, the wall of the bridge, crumbles, and you begin to lose your footing. You're going to have to make a athletics roll right now to catch yourself, so you don't descend about. We're looking at around about a 20-foot, 30-foot drop into ice cold water.
Would I be close enough to potentially catch her?
You might not need to. I got 2 exalted icons and a 4 on my wrath dice.
Excellent. Yeah, you reach out just in time, and you grab on the outside of the bridge, the effigy of some ancient, lichen-covered saint of the emperor's good work, and you cling on to it with your dear life, and I guess you bless the god emperor. Literally has saved you. So it would
The
even make
saints
more.
are true and real and watch over
Exactly.
us.
Exactly. And you haul yourself back up, and you make your way carefully to the gate, where you find Weir, who is simply watching you. Who's trying to take up the least amount of space. And of course, Rufio is there as well, having got through the group. That leaves ID Fortran.
Yeah, I'm just thinking. So, Rite of Magnometrics, because I can use it to kind of hover. How high can I hover?
Can you use it to hover?
It says you can draw your body to any large or stable metal object and hover above it.
Right, there's not really large plates of metal around to hover above.
Isn't the bridge made of metal?
No, it's going to be made of plasticsteel and
Damn it, I wanted to hover above them.
ceramides. It's not like metallic.
Damn it.
Because that would rust too quickly.
Oh, well, I will try and having seen how well it goes. No, I will just walk through the crowd. I won't try and stealth it or anything.
You're just going to have to make athletics to go through. Remember, there are some glory points you can spend.
Either way.
If everyone's cool with you spending a point of glory to get, is it an extra die it gives you? I can never remember off the top of my head.
I believe so.
Hold on.
Oh, it's not on the sheet.
It's on your character sheet. It's on the newer character sheets. It's on sheet 2, it should say.
Glory to add 1d plus 1 dice to test rolls.
Yeah, there we go.
After any re-rolls, plus 1 point of damage to a successful attack.
There we go.
Increase the severity of a critical hit or seize the initiative.
Increase the severity of critical hits. So lovely. Anyway, use a glory point. I think everyone's cool with that.
Yeah. Well, I've got 3 in athletics.
Well, that gives you then 4 dice to roll, which should be sufficient.
Are people okay with that?
Yeah, go for it.
Sure. We'll see what happens.
He's a hulking robot. He doesn't.
Is the technology superior to the flesh and blood that made it through? We're about to find out.
2 successes and exalted.
Oh, there you go then.
Okay.
The 4 on the wrath dice.
The way you make your way through is because obviously some of the people loitering around, sleepwalking, do of course have metallic items on them. So the very small amount of magnetic field strength you're able to leverage on them, just is a gentle shunt out the way. It nudges them. It's not nothing aggressive. It's just a soft force field which repels them. And that's how you make your way through. And so you're now out in front of the main gates of the lighthouse. It's towering above you as if it's, some of you have witnessed visions of this lighthouse as well. So you already recognize it from these dark, dreams and waking dreams or waking nightmares that you've had. You have to find some way to get in. Let's see if there's what information do I have on this? Yes, you've arrived. Obviously the gate, the main door is a Gothic archway with huge kind of like concertina type doors that fall into each other with hazard markings, and it has the sigil of the Inquisition upon it because as I guess a holy ward to keep things in rather than out. So there will be a control panel which you can try and access. Obviously, if that doesn't work, you will have to find some other way in, such as scaling the walls and going in through one of the stained glass windows that dots the lighthouse. Obviously, the level that you've come into the lighthouse, it goes up, and then there's a bit that comes off the top and goes up again. But then there's also a bit that the lighthouse does descend all the way down into the sea. So it is pretty big.
With that description, regardless of if they are able to enter via the control panel, I'm going to scale and go.
Okay, cool. That's
I will
pretty a
attempt
fairly
to plug in.
interesting athletics roll with this for climbing, because stuff could go wrong.
That would be four icons.
4 icons. Okay. Yeah, you start climbing and you make your way along to one of the windows, which has a there's some of the glass is broken, and you can see within is the main entrance hall of the lighthouse. It's a bit too gloomy from where you are to totally get a sense of what's going on in there, but you don't really detect if there's anyone inside. But then this is the main entrance. There is from what you can see, there's a staircase that leads upwards, and also there is the kind of mechanism which lifts a octagonal lift up and down this central shaft. The shaft obviously is, when you get into what you can see is an octagonal like opening in the floor and one in the ceiling, and there's the chain pulley whatever system, mechanized system to move this lift up and down.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to slip inside, and I'm going to wait to see if they get in. Not, I will try to let them in via the main door.
Okay. Obviously, the door might well be also locked and require security clearance, but you can always try on your side. It might be easier. But ID Fortran, on the outside of it, you can always interface directly with the control panel, festooned that it is with various buttons and sigils.
Yeah, I will plug myself into it, specifically looking for override codes to open the door and ways to not get caught by any kind of security measures, having seen the Inquisitor's symbol on it.
And I am
Weir seems to have found a pet.
I'm hopefully going to jump over to my main computer now, so just give me one moment. I'm going to do this.
Show you the results when you've done that.
And leave that.
Oh.
Be right back, folks.
need to use a wrath here.
All right, we're back.
We're back. Microphone fun. I have no idea. Anyway, so how did ID4 try and do on that?
So, let's say I might use a wrath. I got 1 exalted and 1 normal icon.
1 exalted and 1 normal icon. Okay, so you've got 3 icons in total. Yeah. The cogitator built into the door is churning away, emitting a series of bleeps and and static, and does not give you access to the prison.
Remind me again, what's a complication?
Complication is anything I want to come up with.
No, so if I roll, so when you roll a complication.
The one on the wrath die.
The one on the wrath die, yeah, okay, so ignore that then.
Yeah.
So I roll. You said it was gloomy inside. I'm gonna roll stealth again.
Yep.
Sneak down to where the door is. I have 3 icons and 2 exalted icons, including on the wrath die. I'm gonna move one of those to the glory pool.
Okay.
And then I'm going to sneak down to the door and see if I can open it.
Sure. Let me just roll something.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Right. So as you descend from the window into the main hall, into the main chamber, there's a desk which would be where the security officers at the front door would be.
Mm-hmm.
There are other smaller cubicles, let's just say offices that would be there. They kind of would, let's just say they look like rather large confessionals for priests and so forth to be there to assess psychers as they're brought in. And as you're looking around, and the chamber is every so often is illuminated by lightning strikes from outside, your stomach lurches and the room begins to kind of spin.
Oh, fun.
As you step towards the door, it's almost as if you feel seasick, and it's so difficult to keep your balance. You drop to one knee, and every step you take, everything feels ever further away. Distance stretches more and more and more. The door gets smaller and smaller. There's the very stench of death around you. And as you take one more step forward, you realize you're actually at the door, as if it is rushed towards you like a freight train, and you land on your ass and you have to vomit.
Lovely.
Yum.
Then I do so.
Yeah. Does Weird take their mask off?
Yes. He quickly pulls the mask up and vomits corner
Ooh.
by the door. Pulls the mask back down over his face. Composes himself.
And you go to the main door, and again, you need to make a tech roll to activate it. And if there's any security you need to bypass.
Okay. So I only have 2 dice for tech.
Do you wish to spend a glory point?
If everyone is okay with it, yes, I would like to spend a glory point to see if I can open it. Maybe it's easier from the inside. Let's find out.
Well.
Hey, I have an exalted icon on the wrath die and 2 more icons.
Excellent. Yeah, that is enough. You open the panel and you rewire part of it, and the doors creak open, metal grinding against metal. There's a rush of air from outside, which makes the place seem at least smell a bit fresher. And the others, you can dart in and thumb the keypad to close the door behind you. Because the last thing you need is all of those sleepwalkers rushing in after you.
Yep, that was all part of the plan. Shut the door.
I can open doors. That was all me.
Door.
I just look at you.
You look around for another control stud, and with it, the lumens within the chamber come on, flickering intermittently. It gives you, limited amounts of yellowish sodium yellow light that bathes the chamber, and it's clear there has been some degree of fighting. There are recent signs of gunfire as bullet holes pockmark the walls or the furniture around. And yes, this place seems very, foreboding.
Yeah. Rufio's going to quickly take a look around to see what kind of firearms were used. Seems like it's all ballistic weapons. Is it mostly auto guns, shotguns?
It'll be auto guns and shotguns. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
There'll also be the expended rounds from concussion carbines, which are used by enforcers, which essentially galvanic packs because they fire kind of localized electrical bursts. So I think taser guns. That's what carbines do. I found out.
Okay. Cool.
All right.
I bring out my auspex and give the room a quick sweep, see if there's anybody hiding in the building, so any other life forms around.
All right, let's see how that auspex works this game.
Yeah. I thought I was like, this may work, it may not. We'll see.
Let's see if I just jinxed it.
You did.
We'll see.
You sit there and just like, it might work. Meh.
All right, while he's rolling that and doing the auspex, Rufio's going to say, we should probably find this Andros individual in here. See if we can locate them through the records. ID Fortran, what do we find on the auspex? How successful was the auspex?
The auspex doesn't involve a roll.
Oh, it doesn't? Oh, okay.
He wants to make me make a roll.
I want to make you you're going to have to do a roll to just see.
Make me attack.
Tech roll, yeah, to see how much information there is and how you interpret it.
So this means it's not going to work.
Maybe.
Oh.
Maybe.
Probably one of my best ever rolls in this game. That is 3 icons and 1 exalted icon.
Yay!
I can roll successes! Yay!
You sweep the auspex around, and the sensor pings that you get detect very few above from the levels above, but obviously there are numerous, as in we're talking hundreds of sensor pings in the levels below. You basically, as you sweep it downwards, you get a sense that there are, for about the 20 or 30 floors below you, distributed within those prisons below, there are of the order of 30, 40 or more prisoners, likely all psychers of some form.
I turn around to the others and go, it's showing me results. If you want to trust this, then we go down. If you don't, then we go up.
Well, that's what it's telling us. I do Fortran. I'm glad you're so confident in your technology there. It makes sense, based on my experience. I'm sure Weir can back this up. That usually with these black citadels, where they hold these psychers waiting for the black ships.
You have personal experience of these? You have been these before?
Well, I don't like to talk about it usually.
I would like to question his loyalty.
ID Fortran, there's a ping on your auspex. Something's in the room.
What?
Something's in the chamber, moving.
Moving towards us or?
Moving away from you.
I just bolt. I try and chase it.
Yeah, okay.
I don't tell the others, I just run.
You head in that direction. You've mostly got attached on your neck as part of your head augmetics, a torch that you can activate.
I would guess so. Either that or on the rifle and I'm using the rifle, one of the two.
Yeah, you illuminate the area, and huddled in the corner, shaking, holding up a slug gun, his stub pistol, is a enforcer. And quickly looking at the blood splattered nameplate on his armor, you ascertain that is Officer Bir Sidiru, who wrote the report that you read earlier. Get away from me! Who are you? You're not real! You're not real! And he randomly just fires a shot which whizzes past your head.
Human, please refrain from shooting. You might damage the machine. We are here to help.
Get away from me!
Commissar, I have found a flesh. Please come see.
Yeah, we heard the bullet whiz.
I
Commissar,
asked
what do
for
you want me to
Commissar
do?
Rufio, shut up.
Want me to rough him up?
No, I'm going to go talk to him.
Oh, okay. We'll do it your way.
All right, I will walk up to him.
Yeah, okay. He looks at you and he's like, You're not real. You're one of them. This is all a lie. And he's ready to pull the trigger on you. What do you do?
I am going to order him stand up, officer, and basically try to get him to come to attention.
Yep, okay. You're going to be doing a leadership role then.
All right.
Yeah. 7 million dice that you have for this.
Commissar Danica does one thing, but she does
One thing
real good.
Yep. All right. I only got 3 successes. Out of all.
Okay.
It's probably good enough.
You
Hold on a second. Let me see what else I can do. Hold on. I'm going to spend one of my wrath to reroll my failures.
okay?
We're going to check it here. All right. Okay, I now have 6 total successes.
Bloody hell! There we go. Yeah, you order the officer to his feet. He stands to attention, drops the pistol on the floor, and salutes, and just starts kind of ranting that the place is that things are not real, that the God Emperor has forsaken him, that he fears for his very life, his soul. I guess you might slap him around the face a bit in doing
Oh,
this.
goodness. As soon as he says the God Emperor has abandoned him, and I'm be like, why do you think I'm here?
Oh,
yeah, there we go. That's
and a
spicy.
stern slap across the face.
Yup.
Just turn on to Rufio and go,
he comes
flesh
to-
is weak.
Apologies, Commissar. Things have got difficult here. I don't know where the rest of the officers are. They've left their post, or they've fallen asleep, or worse. There are things in the night. There are things in the darkness stalking us. The nightmares, they started when Scotinus Andras was brought in. We processed him days ago, and then things just got out of hand. I'm sure he's
Where is Andros located now?
He's within the prison complex below, but everything's gone wrong. The madness, it must be spilling from him into the other prisoners. We designated him Alpha class Psyker. He's clearly, whether he's purposely or not, he's somehow manipulating them. You just can't tell what's real or not anymore down here.
What floor?
There'll be more in the records room. If we head up to the records room away from here, we can access all the files there and work out which cell he was put into. But
Lead the way. And officer, get yourself in order before I have to make an example of you.
of course, ma'am. He picks up his pistol, holsters it, finds his helmet, decides he's not going to wear it because it likely interferes with trying to understand whether things are real or not, and leads you over to the lift and calls it from above. It descends, the chains rattling as it grinds to a halt at your level, and I guess you all get on board.
Yep.
And
yeah, but before we do, Rufio turns to I guess Weir and says, "Man, she's really good at that."
Or ID Fortran is kind of laughing, but it sounds like a modem loading up, one of the old school dial-up modems.
The lift heads above. You're ascending into the gloom and darkness above, and as it reaches that level, the lumens in that chamber, flare into life, and you have got essentially, let's just say it is a administrator's nightmare. There are desks upon desks upon desks. There are scrolls and books, data slates piled high, because this is where many administrators, scribes will be working. There are auto quills left on the desks. There are various reams of paper from printers. It's essentially where they keep all their data of all the prisoners there, ready to be, well, they were hoping to be taken away by the black ships of the Inquisition. So the room that you're in is known as the Provincia Indicia, and yes, there's in the center of the room is a large podium looking more like the walls of a fortress than a simple writing desk, covered in symbols of the Adeptus Administratum. Sitting behind the desk is a clerk hooded in the voluminous robes, purposely marking something down. Several servo skulls are hovering around him, waiting for orders, and you can approach. He looks up. Yes? Can you not see I'm busy here? There's much work to be done. There are so many people to register for the black ships.
You there, scribe. We're trying to find this Andras character. Where are they?
Andras, yes. Thank you for your inquiry. I shall put that into the cogitators now. And there's basically the crazy bleeps and whirs of 100 modems all committing, suicide together as he tries to find the information. You notice that the scribe is bolted into his chair with various, feeder tubes that provide him sustenance, and his, servitors, servo skulls floating around him. It takes a bit of time.
With one of the servo skulls, and just start beeping at one of the skulls while he's waiting.
He seems obviously unaware of the complete madness that is taking over this prison, and unaware that the rest of the chamber, none of the scribes are there, no enforcers are there, no one else is in charge.
Employee of the month, still working.
Literally just like tap, 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 beep, 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 on the skulls that are floating around.
Yes, Andras is in the levels below. Please take the printout before you. That will give his cell designation.
All right.
Thanks, scribe.
Now, if you wish to remove him from the prison, you will obviously have to return here and return all proper official paperwork, signed and double signed and stamped with the seal of approval of the God Emperor of Mankind and of the Lord Governor Ganthet Veneratio. Though I do acknowledge he is dead, so Praetor Bort's seal is technically an advisable seal to use on all documentation there. Once you have signed and sealed all these documentations, they will be returned to you, and you should then register them with the main...
Listen, scribe, don't worry. We don't intend for Andras to leave this place.
Can I try and hack into him just to shut him up and make him believe that we've got all the correct paperwork?
What? We're gonna kill this guy, right? I mean,
Yeah, but we don't want to leave a trail.
what? Yeah, we do. We want everyone to know that we're here.
Yeah, no, we're good.
He's also annoying me. I want to shut him up.
Well, you can do that. That's fine.
That's agreeable.
Yeah, you can make a tech test then.
Oh, I'm getting better at rolling dice. That is 2 icons and 1 exalted.
Oh wow, yeah, you are able to cross-reference all the information you've got to find. You've got which level that he's on and various other bits of information. Though as that is going on,
Uh-oh.
What have I done now?
That was an evil laugh from Chris.
Yeah. What's ID Fortran done this time?
right, I'm going to decide who that's going to influence. So, Commissar, as you're waiting there, bored out of your mind, listening to this just pathetic scribe doing his work, and ID Fortran is obviously hacking into some piece of data slate or a cogitator. You notice something in the far end of the chamber, lurking there. Something inhuman. Its face is split with a horrifying grin, and it looks at you. And it starts rushing towards you.
I pull my pistol and shoot at it.
It charges towards you, blinding speed. It has blades that extend from its misshapen arms. It has multiple. Its face is lopsided. Its mouth opens, displaying numerous mandibles and teeth. And you fire off round after round after round of your bolt pistol. So, yeah, you're going to have to use up a reload. So say goodbye to one of your reloads.
Okay.
And everyone else watches as Danica basically shoots up 3 or 4 desks, exploding them with bolt gun rounds.
Well, Rufio's taken a couple steps back here.
The scribe in his podium looks over. Quiet, please. I will have no noise in my chambers. I'm dealing with proper paperwork here. Any noise is a distraction to myself and my servants.
Quick question, Chris. Is this a fear thing?
Yeah, you might need to make a test kind of
I'm fearless is one of my talents.
Okay.
So I automatically pass all my fear tests.
Wow. Yeah. Well, then you, as you fire away, the vision dissipates, and you're just stood there, having, rightly so, fearlessly, fired an entire clip's worth of bolt gun rounds at nothing.
Yeah.
And
Commissar
you witness the
Danica.
fact that you've destroyed all these desks. There is paperwork literally around you. Everyone's watching literally a snowstorm of confetti of paperwork floating down from these tables.
Yeah. Yeah.
Data slates are sparking, shattered. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That is the exclamation point to my statement. Let's go. That's all she said.
I just kind of look at the desks. And I just turn around and start walking out of the room. I'm like,
Rufio turns to Weir and just says, like, holy shit, she's had enough of this place. We better listen to her.
nod silently.
I unplug, tempted to take one of the servo skulls that's floating around the servo.
Could be useful.
It's not for use. It's just because I might adapt at some point for something.
Actually, I think Rufio grabs that printout that we have and just hands it to Danica and says, "Okay, we're going. You lead the way, madam."
All right. Yeah, I grab the printout, look at it, and let's go. Keep walking.
So you've got the printout. It has the information of Scotinus Andros. It's highlighted along with details of his case. Unfortunately, the prisoners are held deep in the bowels of the facility, which means you will have to go back to the lift and descend further. Of course, Bir Sidero is, states, Mum, if I think it would be advised, then I will remain here to oversee the scribe here, the administrator. The last thing we need is anyone attacking him. He obviously looks visibly shaken and doesn't wish to go any further back down into the prison.
But does he? Because
yes,
I also
Commissar
have
this.
fearsome respect.
Yes.
So my allies within 15 meters of me can see me. Well, it's only adding plus double bonus dice to resolve tests. So
Well, I mean, he can get pretty resolute right now, especially if you put, a bolt pistol up to him. Oh, did I say that? Oh, okay. But yeah, I concur. Rufio doesn't want this guy to stay here.
No, he is coming with us one way or another.
Oh yeah.
Meat shield.
I mean,
either he's coming with us as a servant of the emperor, or he's coming as a prisoner.
Yeah, he'll nods understanding and ensures that his stub pistol is appropriately reloaded, ready for action. He's also got a shock maul, which he ensures is properly charged before saluting and setting off back towards the lift with you.
Yeah,
before he turns around and leaves, I'm going to let him know we are signed that the Emperor has not abandoned you. You best not abandon the Emperor in this time of need.
I like it. Rufio will also at some point turn to this enforcer and say, yeah, you don't want to mess around with her. She always wanted to have a penal regiment in the Astra Militarum, so you don't want to be the first one.
Right, you head back towards the lift then, and I guess you thumb the control panel to descend into the bowels of the prison, heading towards the cell designation that you've been given. So you're going to be heading quite deep down into the prison by about 20 or so levels to get to it. The map of the prison is kind of like a spider web, so it's arrayed in that way. So the lift will come down into a central chamber, and from that are numerous corridors that come out, each segment containing roughly 10 or so prison cells, though of course each prison cell is mostly stuffed to the gills with, at least in some cases, with 2, 3 or 4 prisoners, given how they're running out of space.
All right, that is something on my to-do list for later. Yeah, we are going to go and find the level and block that he is in, as indicated on the paper, as that is the best place to start trying to find where he is.
Yep. The lift descends down towards the main entrance chamber, and as it reaches there, it begins to descend past that lower level, past that level, and then it grinds to a halt. The entire motor, you watch the motor spark, and it cuts out completely. You're going to have to go by the steps, by the staircase, which are much, much narrower.
I draw my power blade.
All right. Unless ID Fortran, you want to try and wake this thing up?
Yeah. Can't you do a little prayer or something? Apply a little bit of your mystic oil.
Machine oil. I can apply the machine oil, but I have a feeling that this is not going to do anything. The machine. This is too simple.
Okay.
I feel that this is such a simple machine that we've offended it somehow.
The machine is a simpleton.
I kind of want to push someone in front and use a meat shield. So.
Right.
Yeah, the officer is going to lead because he knows this facility better than we do.
Yes. That's some great commissarship right there.
Excellent. So Beersadero leads, takes the lead. He gets out his torch and his pistol and starts leading the way, heading towards the staircase and then descending down it. The staircase is at the edge of the chamber, so the staircase that leads into the lower levels, goes around the outer edge of the prison cells.
Is it dark in here?
Oh yeah, it's very dark in here.
I'm gonna.
There's barely any light.
I am going to stealth roll.
Of course. The first moment he gets, he's going to just dart off and.
What he does.
Wait, did you just say 20 dice?
No, it's only 7.
I mean, I believe it.
Are we playing Shadowrun now?
4 icons. No exalted icon.
Okay.
Yeah, you obviously blend into the shadows quite quickly. Once you descend into the first level, you're going to have to obviously make your way around the edge of that level to the next staircase. Going past, obviously the way it's set up, there are numerous bulkhead doors that you'll have to go through because it's set up to allow the guards to lock the place down. And once you've descended into this first level, it becomes obvious there are the murmuring chants from deep below. The prisoners are not wailing, they're not even praying, they're saying something, but you can't really make it out, and it reverberates and echoes through the entire prison. It's damp and claustrophobic, of course. The smell is grotesque. It is filth. The smell of hundreds of prisoners that have ever been held there in centuries before.
Is the chanting, we can't understand it because it's not a language, or is it just because it's too far away and maybe...
Oh, it's complete madness. It's gibberish. Right. So you start heading off in towards the next staircase, and I'm going to now allow the nightmares to descend upon you even more.
Yeah.
Bring it.
Flesh is weak. Flesh suffers nightmare.
So ID Fortran, as you're walking along, you peer into one of the cells that you go past, and as you look in, staring through the thin slit in the door, someone then just slams up against the door screaming, and you get the smell of burning flesh. Within inside that chamber, it is a complete inferno. Flames are creeping up around you, and then you look around, you back off and you look elsewhere, and you realize, you look down at your own robes and the corridor around you, it is also on fire. What do? You think you're on, you believe you're on fire. Something has,
He brings back flashes of memory, of pain, of the agony of the first augmentations that I performed upon myself. And my body starts to scream, and I just kind of collapse onto the floor, kind of remembering a little bit of what it's like to be human and have fear.
Oh yeah.
So the memory of fear is coming back, and I can't quite compute. So the still human side of my brain is rebelling against the machine side. My machine side is just going, you are fine. This is not right. My human side is like, no, you're on fire. This hurts. You're about to die. I kind of start glitching and twitching, and kind of like I'm having some kind of physical attack.
Right. I need you to make a willpower test because you are basically going to drop and roll because you think you're on fire.
I am going to fail this. Oh, I got 1.
You've got 1 success. Yeah, you drop to the ground rolling, and you also take 2 damage. But this is actually counts as shock, so you take 2 shock damage.
Let me just. Where's it gone?
And then you're going to need to make another willpower test to see if you can, take control of the nightmares.
We can say goodbye to Fortran at the moment. He's just going to be a gibbering, bleeping wreck. Yeah, nothing. No willpower.
Right. Yeah, you guys watch as you hear ID Fortran screaming in pain, rolling on the floor before you. You have no idea what's overtaken him. The other prisoners in the cells nearby then start screaming in unison with him.
I can tear out his audio box. Here, I can do that. I'll make a tech roll to see if this works.
Oh, no.
I mean, are you going to stop my character?
Yes, because I'm going to try to talk him out of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
all right. We'll do it your way.
We'll do it your way. We'll just grab your hand.
We'll do it your way, Commissar.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. I did have a quick question.
Yep.
Where would I find? Okay, so I don't. My rank bonus is blank, and I totally forgot to add that in.
Your rank bonus.
We're rank 1 at the moment, aren't we?
I think we were rank 2.
Yeah.
You guys are 2. I'm 3 because of the. We did not pay attention to rank while creating characters.
Let's see.
We were 1 and you were 2. I can't remember.
Character creation.
I apologize. I should
We're
have.
rank 1.
Yeah, you should all be rank 1 at starting character creation.
Okay.
Yeah, we're tier 2.
Okay.
Tier 3.
Yeah.
Rank and tier are slightly different.
So yeah, I'm just looking for the rank bonus because that's going to come into play in a second.
It'll be your rank.
Yeah, it'll be equal to your actual rank, which will be 1.
Okay.
So rank is essentially it goes up with experience within the tier that you're part of.
Okay.
It doesn't really mean anything, compared to tier. So if you reach rank 4 or 5, you don't ascend to a higher tier unless the game kind of, we say the game has to step up to the next level.
Okay.
That might be important if you were, say, playing Space Marine Scouts, who then at some point, get elevated to full Space Marines and go through the last steps of their transformation.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, because it might come into play at some point.
Yeah, sure.
And I wanted to just make sure that I had it. I apologize for derailing this.
Okay.
Okay, so I am going to try to talk ID Fortran out of it. And
Yeah, you're going to do leadership then, aren't you?
Yep, reminding him of his service to the Emperor and the God Emperor.
Well, yeah, he likes the Omnissiah. He likes the
Oh,
Omnissiah.
yeah, that's right. So
remember, they're very sensitive about that.
I will adjust my rhetoric to fit his beliefs.
Yeah.
It's not a contentious point at all between the Mechanicus and the Imperium at all, this whole Messiah business.
I am going to spend another wrath to re-roll because I only got 3 successes. Ugh. Okay, 1, 2. That's so much better. Oh my goodness. Okay. So I have 8 successes total.
Wow. Any exalted icons?
Nope.
Okay. Yeah, you get ID4 trying to his feet. You command him, berate him, whatever you need to do, and he breaks free of the visions, the nightmares that are overwhelming him, and comes to his senses. You're not on fire, ID Fortran. You realize that it's all, not real.
I'm not going to berate him, but I am going to inspire him.
Yeah.
I just about my flesh brain is weak. Machine brain understood. Flesh is weak. I am sorry. I will make myself better.
Right. You keep going through the labyrinth, heading towards the next staircase. You can all make awareness checks. Or no, actually, I'll roll for something else. Actually, that makes more sense. Let me see, how many dice do I roll? Default's 5. There we go. What's everyone's passive awareness?
Oh.
Where is that?
Probably 2.
2.
It's probably awareness divided by 2, right?
Yeah. As you're making your way through the prison, past another bulkhead door, you hear whispering. It's human, and they're clearly it's the sounds of people. You think they're planning an ambush. They're telling each other where to position themselves so that when you come around the corner, they can attack.
I'm in stealth.
Yeah.
I will move ahead. Circle.
Yep.
Circle them. And I'm just gonna walk up behind them and.
I want Weir to make a because you've split off from the group. I want Weir to make a willpower test. You can spend wrath if you want.
Actually, I have decent willpower.
You've left the leadership bubble.
3 and 1 is
Dear
a
Commissar.
exalted. So 4 total.
3. So you've got 4 successes total.
Oh, that was it. Sorry. The exalted icon's on the wrath die.
Yeah. Oh, so that's a point of glory as well.
Yeah.
Did you want to ask if you can spend a glory to roll a further die and add it?
Based on you asking me that, yes.
Take it.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
That's another exalted icon.
Wow. Okay. So that buys you back a. I know you don't want to shift that. You don't want to shift
No.
that.
Okay.
Yeah. You step through, the darkness of the corridors. It's foreboding. You can hear still the chanting of the prisoners inside. And for a minute, you had the feeling you saw something in the shadows, but it can't be real. You know it's not real. This psyker is playing with your mind. You make your way around the next corner, and there you can see these guards. They are clearly enforcers, maybe not, but not enforcers, but they're certainly guardsmen of some sort. Their clothes are ragged. They have begun to lacerate themselves and mutilate themselves, and they're brandishing combat shotguns and bludgeons ready to ambush the others. There's about 5 of them.
Okay.
What's gonna happen?
Weir could just take his mask off.
I think you guys are waiting for the screams, aren't you?
Yeah. So I reduce my DN for multiple attacks by 2. And then I also reduce the DN penalty by double rank when performing a multi-attack from Storm of Death.
Yeah.
So DN is the number of attacks I want to make, correct?
Sorry, go through it again.
So I want to make multiple attacks.
Yeah.
I reduce the DN by 4.
The difficulty number by 4.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the difficulty goes up by 1 for every attack I want to make. Is that how that works? I'm trying to refresh my memory.
Oh god, yeah. This is Let's go to combat because you're surprising them, which also means they yeah, I know, right? It's you're surprising them, which means they're not going to get their defense.
As far as I know, 1.0 is every extra person it went up by 1. I don't know.
Yeah, actions, combat actions.
Basically, if I reduce the DN by 4 and it goes up by 4, I just want to try to kill 4 of them.
Right. So multiple actions. You can attempt more than one combat action in a round. By doing so, makes all combat actions more difficult. You first declare how many multiple actions you're making and say which actions you want to take. For every additional action you declare, you suffer +2 difficulty number penalty to all tests. So the difficulty hit goes up by 2.
For each action. Okay.
For each action. And that's for all tests that you're performing. So if you make 2 actions, you have a +2 DN penalty to all those tests. If you make 3 actions, it's +4 to all tests. So, but then you've got your thing which reduces the difficulty number back down because you've got flurry of madness, killing, death, kind of
More or less,
mutilation.
Yes. So you can attack 3 people. Wow.
So you can attack 3 people with no penalty.
Okay.
Because it's, you said -4 DN.
And
Yeah,
then the
there you
last
go.
person I'd only have a -1.
Plus.
+1.
So if you made 4 attacks, all the attacks are done with +2 DN.
Yes. Okay.
Because it would normally be +6.
But I'm also negating their defense.
Yeah, because it's a surprise as well, which makes this equally interesting. Stealth, you've got stealth.
Can we just kill them all
Surprise
now?
If you attack an unaware enemy, you gain 2 bonus die to the attack test and +2 ED. There we go.
Yeah, it's almost on stealth. Okay.
So you've got +2 dice anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just gonna attack. I'm gonna try to kill 4 of them.
Kill 4. So you've
Yep.
got +2 dice to your dice pool on all of this.
Yes.
But also you've got +2 difficulty
Yes.
on their defense.
Mhm.
Their defense is 3, so that goes up to 5. So the first attack, you walk up and you start basically going full Highlander on all of them.
That would be. Hold on, wait. That would be 7 with 2 exalted icons.
7
One
with
of
2
which-
exalted icons.
One of which I'm going to spend to cause a bleeding condition. So 5.
So you got 5,
5
which is
and,
a hit.
Yep.
Yep.
And I'm causing a bleeding condition on that person.
You're causing a bleeding condition, and then you roll for damage with +2 ED. And remember, it's because it's a close combat weapon. It's the damage of the weapon plus your strength, which we always forgot on previous sessions.
So it's the same number of dice. Okay.
Yeah. And they've got a armor of 5.
10.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You in one swift move decapitate him. There is a fountain of blood from his neck, and as you pirouette, you performing the great art of your assassin guild and clan or house or temple. Sorry, temple is most appropriate. You begin the next slicing attack. So roll all that again, for Christ's sake.
6 with 1 exalted icon that I'm not going to spend because that would not be a
Okay.
success.
So that's a hit. And again, roll for damage.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 again.
Yeah, that is also, you slice him from groin to shoulder, and his body, slides in half. And again, you roll and make another sweeping attack.
So I have 5, but I also have a 1 on the wrath die on this.
Okay, I know what I'm going to do. Okay, roll the damage.
6.
6 damage total
Yes,
after
no
armor.
exalted icons that time.
Is that accounting for armor?
No.
No, okay. Oh, that's good. That's all right then. That's cool. So that's 6 damage. Did you? So, you added all the bonus extra damage dice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, that wasn't a good roll. That wasn't a very good roll at all.
No.
Yeah. Okay. In that case, then you go to attack him, and you do a thrust, which begins to penetrate his armor, but gets stuck, and you can't attack the other person because that's the complication.
What if I just let go of my power blade stuck in his armor?
You could do. Why? What do you want to do as your last attack?
And then get my last attack on someone else.
Yeah,
Because
sure.
now he's just got a power blade stuck in him.
Oh wait, it's a power blade. So what's the AP on that?
-2. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. In that case, sorry. Yeah, because that makes a massive
I just
amount
remembered
of difference.
that. Yeah.
So instead, actually, on this last guy, it's basically the same. He's dead, but the blade is stuck in him.
Okay. And then I will take my last attack.
Yeah.
Oh, so much better.
What are you attacking with?
Power blade. I have 2.
Oh, you've got 2, of course. Yeah.
Just. He's probably got some spare stuck down his trousers somewhere as well.
That's
Ooh.
7 with 1 exalted icon, which I will spend for a bleeding condition because that's still 5.
Nice.
And okay,
I think the cat took something out.
that's only 5, not accounting for armor, but I have the -2. No.
All right. Oh man, he's just having a rough day of it, apparently.
Yep. Yep. Oh, you know what? I said I wanted to take a short break.
For a break,
We're going
yeah.
to take a
I was just
short
gonna say, is
break,
this the right time?
folks. We're back.
So there are bodies on the ground, and there is one guard left who looks around, seeing the gore and viscera that have spilled out onto the floor due to Weir's swordsmanship, and turns tail and runs away from you. More than likely, I think, heading in the direction of the others.
Yeah, because I circled around and came up behind them. I will.
You see this. You guys, Danica and Rufio and ID Fortran, see the guard running towards you. He is white with terror, having, due to what he's just witnessed. He's already dropped his shotgun and everything. He is just liking it.
Rufio will tackle him.
Excellent. Yeah, go on. Just roll to tackle him then.
Yep. Athletics or weapon skill?
Weapon skill.
Okay.
I will free my power blade from the dead guard.
Holy smokes! I whiffed. I just failed. Nothing. Whoa! And this dude slips right by.
You slam against the corridor wall, and he ducks past you, screaming. Danica or ID Fortran?
Is there a cold shot thing in this?
Yeah, there are cold shots.
So can I just take his kneecaps out?
If that's what you want to do, you can do that.
I'm going to try and attempt to take his kneecaps out, and then turn around and go, "All yours, Commissar."
Once I free my power blade, I'll walk back around.
So let's see. Cold shot +1 ED for every one you add to the target's defense. So in other words, you can if you basically make it harder to hit them, but as a result, it will do more damage to them.
I don't want to kill him. I just want to kneecap him.
In that case, then let's see, cool shot page 187. Let's see if there's a good way that this can be done. I think essentially you're going to just have to. Essentially, you just need to kind of get some exalted icons to do some narrative declaration.
Okay, yeah. So if I get some hits and then spend a wrath point or a glory point to do narrative declaration.
Yeah.
Well, this is the thing that I'm meant to be good at. So in theory.
Nope, not in theory.
Well, okay. Commissar.
No, it gets worse. I rolled.
Oh no.
You rolled what?
I got a 1 on the wrath dice. And I got no
in that
other
case,
successes.
then, we can say goodbye to one of your reloads.
8 dice and no successes.
The voltaic ammo core ejects from your rifle, sizzling.
Oh, fantastic.
Danica.
Can I take my cane and trip him?
Yeah, by all means, do that. Yeah.
You're not going to scream at him to stop.
Do I really want him to stop? That's the thing. All right. So it's weapon skill then?
Yeah.
All right. Ooh, okay. I have 5 total successes, 2 of which are exalted.
Yeah, you trip him over, and as he clatters the ground, he looks up at you, and with the metal, it's just a gold plated skull top to the cane. You just clout him around the face with it and happily knock him out.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
Some other information, which I didn't actually give you, which would have been on the incident report from that you got about Andras, this psyker. The full information, which I should have told you, which is really interesting about him, is that he was picked up on a vagrancy charge, and when the addressing enforcer attempted to detain him, he suddenly manifested unexplained abilities, hurling Enforcer Sarash 10 meters through the air. The enforcer's partners were subdued the suspect using shock mauls and took him into the Iron Watch. So yes, he has telekinetic abilities.
Oh, that's good to know.
Oh,
Weir, there you are. What happened to the rest of the? We got this one.
I glance around the corner.
Oh, okay. Usual Weir special. Where I think we're going to need that same kind of special. It sounds like we're just reviewing the report over here, and this psyker has some telekinetic abilities. We might need this to be a clean first hit on him. Just take him out. Okay, good.
With that, are you going to head further down a level now to the next level? And
you gotta just take this guy out, right?
Yeah, you've got to detain this rogue psyker.
Detain,
pacify, cleanse, whatever wording you want to use.
Liquidate.
Obviously, assuming he is the source of the disturbance. So you begin to descend the next staircase, and it's darker and
Uh-oh.
It's the ominous die roll as the GM consults their screen and their notes behind it. What is in store for us, us fateful adventurers?
Rufio.
Shit.
As you stand rigid on the staircase as the others keep going ahead. and you are overcome by a vision. You see a man clothed as a ragged lower hive dweller. His life is hard but his own, until the authorities picked him up. You know in your heart, whispering to you, this is Andras. This is the person you read about. This is the source of the disturbance. You watch him dragged from his home into this vast black place, trapped in the cold and lifeless cell, punished for something he didn't do, knowing that someday the black ships will come to carry him across the stars to feed the insatiable hunger of a distant, cruel, and carrion god. And the vision ends. You are sweating.
Sounds like a familiar story, except for the whole being sacrificed to a corpse emperor.
And with that, there is a guttural scream near you. You watch the others, you watch as, because you're going down the staircase, literally from a pool of inky blackness on a wall, an alien dog-like creature, almost the size of a man, pounds forth, slams into Birsidiru, and drags him into a shadow on the other side of the wall. And as it does so, there is just a spray of blood that erupts from that wall. And Sidiru screams as he is dragged off into a nightmare realm.
That's
and
when he
don't worry,
gets doubting.
it's
God Emperor.
totally real. It is totally real. Danica, you are sprayed in blood as this happens. Your face is slick with it. It's not fear, but I guess you don't really care.
No, she just kind of yeah, whatever. She leaves it. Doesn't even bother her.
You're totally immune to fear.
Yeah, she's fearless. I
Jesus
passed
Christ.
all fear tests.
Wow. Okay. In that case, then I think everyone else needs to make a has to
Really need
resist
to take.
fear, except for Rufio because he's obviously distracted.
If it's resolved, they get double their rank bonus from me.
Yeah. So is fear a resolve check? I can never remember.
I guess it's
Well,
either.
no, the resolve comes from my archetype ability, Fearsome Respect.
Ah, okay.
So yeah, these are two different things in play right now.
Yeah, there's a lot. I'm just trying to find where the actual fear test is. Oh God, why can I never find it? Let me see. Okay, there we go. Yeah, help if I go to the rules section, core mechanics, other tests. There we go. Corruption. It won't be that. Resolve tests. There we go. Yeah, it's going to be a resolve test, which means
You all get to add double your rank bonus dice to your resolve.
you roll to do so. Roll a pool equal to your resolve trait versus the fear rating of the creature, which is 3. So difficulty number 3, basically.
So we get our resolve and we get +2.
Yeah, double your rank. Yep.
Commissars, awesome.
Watch ID4 try and leg it. Ooh, 2 exalted.
Sweet. Uh-oh.
Is We're okay?
Weir's okay. Mike does not look okay.
Oh no, Mike's
What? No, I'm
totally
gonna
distracted by his
roll.
vision.
Well, no,
His
I'm
sight-
not okay, but for other reasons, I'm not okay.
Okay, you carry on down into past the staircase, having witnessed this horrifying attack by this alien creature. If it's even alien, it may be something born from the war. You keep, you carry on through the dank corridors, and then you hear some whimpering. Obviously, the chanting has got louder as there are more prisoners on this level, but there's also whimpering coming from nearby. You round the corner, and there are a dressed not like the guards, not like enforcers, though you do notice on their clothing there is some sort of imperial sigil, or at least some emblem that represents they are members of the hive and of Charybdion. And in fact, one of them bears the emblem of the Charybdion claws, the Astra Militarum, platoon company that is raised from this planet. They look totally shocked and catatonic.
All right. I am going to attempt to shake him out of it.
Yep. You stride over and they look up at you and they're like almost weeping, rocking backwards and forwards. Get away from us. You're one of them. Get away. Ah, ah.
Yeah, I walk right up to him. I'm going to attempt to talk him out of it.
Yep. She does what she does best. Command people.
Are you gonna talk him out of it with your bolt pistol?
I mean, that's probably gonna end up happening because I got 3 icons, an exalted icon, but I also got a 1 on the wrath die.
Ooh, excellent. Just what I want to hear. The soldier looks up at you. Commissar, you have to get out of here. There's something of the ruinous powers is down here. The other person with them looks up wide-eyed at you and just screams, "Demon! Demon!" and goes for their gun, their las pistol, and draws it at you.
Fantastic. I take my bolt pistol and I shoot them.
Go for it.
All right. Is it ballistic skill or weapon? Oh, either way, it's the same for me.
It's ballistic skill.
Okay. All right.
The Scola Progenium taught you well.
2 icons.
Yeah, you literally just draw it up and snap off a shot before they even have time to respond. The bolt round explodes their skull and they drop dead. The shaken Astra Militarum sergeant there is splashed with blood and looks at you and comes to his senses. Commissar, I apologize for my men's actions. We were sent here by Praetor Borst. Something's wrong down here. We were told when contact was lost with the prison. Something's not right. Something's driving everyone mad.
Yes, there is a prisoner, Andros.
Yes, we heard he was brought here. We had checked in with the scribe above. We tried to. Yes, we got here and he looks around. What is the time? You'd mostly
provide him the time quickly, but tell him we are out of time and you need to come with us.
Yes, Commissar. Yes, of course. It seems we've been down here for maybe half a day or so already. We've just lost track of time. My men, and he looks around at the rest of his men, and you realize that some of them that he thought he was like you sat with huddled are actually also eviscerated, and him and his friend have been lying with corpses thinking they were their friends, their compatriots. Praetor Borst sent us here to investigate, but he didn't tell us this was what we were expecting.
No, he didn't. And that
is
a problem.
He pulls out of the dead grip of one of his men a las gun and prepares to accompany you into hell.
Fantastic. I like a man who takes action. All right,
Shield
let's
replaced.
go. Yep.
Yeah. Also, I want to point out I want to point out it's session 4, and finally our commissar has murdered a guardsman. So great. Check
Things
that
gone wrong
off.
with this commissar.
I did murder the people in the lower hive as we were
Yes,
interrogating someone.
Yeah, but they're hivers.
Which was great. But this is the classic how you handle the Imperial Guard.
Right, I want
Commissar.
everyone to make a willpower test.
All right.
Really?
Second.
Just a 1.
Better than me.
Is this intimidation by any chance?
No.
Nope. Okay. Have to check.
You need to get at least 3 successes on this.
We're all screwed.
No, nobody.
Not a wrath.
Oh, I'm spending a wrath.
There are
I'm
2
not.
glory points up for grab if anyone wants to use a glory point.
Well, this is going to be horrible. I might have to use a. Oh, I'm probably gonna have to use a glory. Can I use a glory at the same time round as a wrath?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I use a?
I'm going to
ra-
use my last. There's no
can I
point.
use?
Go for it.
Can you? Okay.
I don't think I'm going to be able to pass even with a pre-roll, so I'm just going to automatically fail.
All right. Let's see here. Nope. That was horrible.
Right.
I got-
Who's,
Oh, sorry.
who's got less than 3 successes?
All of us.
Everyone but me. I have
Okay.
3. I rerolled.
You feel as if there's almost like the entire prison takes a breath and inhales, pulling air away from you, and then it exhales, and you feel this shockwave lurch through your guts, through your mind. You are racked with migraines, and those of you who haven't got enough successes begin to feel very, very sleepy. And begin to drift off.
I got a 1 on my wrath die for this roll.
Oh
so,
yeah, you definitely, as you're stood there, you slump down against the wall, drifting away into sleep. Right. You're watching this, so you somehow have to wake them up. And I am going to essentially assault them with dark nightmares. Okay, starting with Danica.
Yeah.
Danica, you are suffering from. You're overwhelmed by a vision. You drift off into sleep, and you see before you a black tower jutting from the side of Hive Iden. You somehow know this is the Iron Watch. You're inside. You know that is where you are. You see the black tower twist and groan as though it were a living thing writhing in agony. Its steel ceramite shell turns into twisting flesh, grasping upwards into the sky, reaching for the Cicatrix maledictum. The main gates of the tower stretch and whine open as though there's an unbearable pressure. And then you hear voices crying out in terror and pain, in fervent and desperate prayer. The gates break open, releasing hell. Unimaginable creatures burst forth as once again the prison becomes a doorway, this time as the watery world, the world of Charybdion, drowns, not in water, but in blood. You're racked by nightmares. You take a wound, a mortal wound. You cannot save or anything. You just take a straight wound.
Oh.
That's brutal.
Damn. I know you have to work through the other two's nightmares, but do I think a dose of stim would?
That might well work. You might be well jabbing stims directly into their chests. Oh shit, that's really funny.
I don't have a chest.
I'll stick yours right in your head. You'll be fine.
Wherever the feeder tube is, it's going right into you. Oh my god, that's wild.
I was like, hold on, what do I have? I have 3 doses.
You could
of
roll
stim.
to wake them up, or I could just jab adrenaline straight into
It's the
them.
scene from Pulp Fiction where he jabs the needle into her chest. And there, yeah.
Okay, so
Fantastic.
ID Fortran, as you drift into sleep, a mighty fleet you witness is attacking your home forge world. You see your forge world, miles above it, this gleaming sphere covered as it is with multiple forges, giant ships large enough to be seen even from the surface, materialize from the water directly above your world. You see flashes of light as massive weapons, lance weapons and ballistic rounds and various missiles are launched down onto the surface, obliterating it. You see the impact, a flash of blinding light, a cloud of smoke, and moments before you hear a rumble as the ground erupts beneath you. And then you feel nothing as you feel yourself falling into absolute darkness as chaos reaches up to grab you. I'm going to roll a d3, and that's how much shock you take. You take 3 points of shock.
I'm not going to wake up.
Seeing your world basically being obliterated by the forces of...
Yeah, you've just taken out all my shock.
Oh, okay, right, yeah.
Well, conveniently,
I'm at -1.
Do stims give shock back?
Yes, it's 1d3 plus 3.
Excellent. That's
Oh, thank God for that, because yeah, you have literally just knocked me out.
And Mike, oh no,
Yeah.
I'm gonna re-roll that because that's not we don't want the same thing again. Let's have a look at what else we get. Oh, that's fun. So Rufio, you're there walking through. What hive world are you from? Are you actually from Necromunda? Or
Sure.
somewhere else? Yeah, you're from
Sure, let's go with
Necromunda.
Necromunda.
It's great. Necromunda's a great place. Yeah. You're
I
walking
like
through
growing up
the you're walking through the underhive, and in the corridor you're walking through the corridors, dimly lit, hissing steam from pipes, and then emerging from the the steam, you see ghosts of your past that come back to haunt you. Friends, scum, scavies that you've all left to die because you were a heartless son of a bitch mercenary. You left us behind, Rufio.
I had a chance and I took it. Okay? You would have gotten off-world too if you
only
came
left
for you.
because you took our chance away. A scaly hand reaches towards you to grasp at your throat. You feel their touch against you. It's time you joined us in the beyond. We'll take you there. Just come with us. You feel yourself grabbed and gently pulled into the darkness. And again, you're going to take D3 shock. You lose 3 points of shock.
I'm still alive.
And then all of you feel
Hold on.
your hearts
Wait.
thumping.
Before I do that, I actually want to see
Right.
if I can wake them up with a dice roll, because I only have 3 doses of stim, and I just realized I've taken a bunch of shock damage in the last session, and I might want to use one on myself.
Yeah. What happens when you go down to 0 shock?
You basically run away. You count as exhausted. It basically means you get difficulties to doing stuff. Just look it up. It's fairly simple. Let me find. Sorry, waking up sleep. People that are sleeping. Where are we? Page 40. That's why.
I will absolutely give Fortran a dose of stim.
I'm just
Right.
looking that I could spend my...
The
wrath
advised
to
ways of waking people
You
up
can,
are
yes.
telepathy,
Oh, well,
terrifying them, so you wake them up by intruding,
I
or
mean...
You could do
Isn't that what he's doing to us anyway?
yeah, basically, you start trying to wake them up. You get your canteen of water, you splash it on their face. That doesn't work.
Okay.
You slap them.
Well,
You slap them again.
I know that interacting with the people who are sleepwalking doesn't wake them up. We've
Yeah,
tried this.
you even try piercing their skin using your glove of needles, and that doesn't even wake them up. But you do have your stims.
What could you whisper terrifying things into our ears?
I could.
Just trying to get Weird to talk, aren't you?
Yeah, he's constantly trying to get me to talk. I've spoken. I said one word.
It has happened. It has happened.
I said one word. I will absolutely actually wake up the counselor first.
Yeah, Danica, you feel your heart almost ready to burst, and you set up bolt right with this tube stabbed into your chest, and you feel completely, well, you're just buzzing and awake, completely alert.
Also, you can heal 1d3 plus 3 shock.
All right, I have no shock taken.
You're okay, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
but
fine with that.
you're awake, and you realize you're bleeding from your nose due to the psychic assault that you suffered, and you've got a massive headache, but you're awake.
Oh, I am
so
not
glad
happy.
you're out of that nightmare. Rufio mostly gets his chest punctured in the same way, and you sit up again, bolt right. You snort and bray momentarily, looking around, and
Weird
you're awake.
skull mask over you for a second.
And you recover D3+1 shock.
Yep, fully recovered. Good to go.
Excellent. And ID Fortran, you again, there's a from your voice box again, the sound of a modem committing suicide as you wake up, and you find in whatever feeder tube port that's near your neck, there's this stim syringe stabbed into it, and you feel really alive.
1d3 plus
1d3 plus 3.
Oh, plus 3. Wow, there you go.
Yeah.
Get all of it back.
Good. Listen, I've had enough of this shit. Let's just find this Andros and let's end this.
I am not happy, and I am now hopped up on stim.
Yeah.
Murder's free! Murder's free!
Yeah. Oh, it's coursing through my veins now. Let's go.
As you awake, as ID Fortran comes to, you look down the corridors, you see one of the prison doors bend outwards and then explode off its hinges. Floating out in ragged robes with chains on their feet is a psyker. Their head has slightly distorted and is pulsating, and there is the crackling of energy around it. It slowly turns as it floats about a foot off the ground, eyes blazing with blue electrical energy, and looks in your direction. You awoke. You are the servants of the Emperor. What are you doing, Ian?
Stealth.
You've gone stealth.
I am
9 with 3 exalted icons.
I'm just going to say the God Emperor protects, and I'm going to shoot him.
I've got. If that doesn't work, he's got chains on him, hasn't he?
There are chains.
Weir, do that. Stick your swords out, and I'm just going to bring him onto your swords.
I had 3 exalted icons on my stealth roll, including on the. I had 4 exalted icons, including on the wrath die.
Right. Well, I'm going to spend a ruin point because I want this guy to get the drop on you as it explodes out of the door, and he's going to launch a psychic attack.
Perfect.
Let's see, what's he got? He's got a few. He's got 1 or 2 things. Let me see what they do. Cast. Oh right, ruin is just does his power. So his power is essentially he's just got smite. There's nothing too crazy about him. But how does this work? So we're going to do a psychic power. So obviously, if we had a psyker in the group, we'd understand how this would work. But this is the first time we're going to witness this. So I assemble his psychic mastery pool, which is going to be 6 dice. And one of those
overcharge
die. And then I roll it and I compare against the difficulty of the psychic power he's using. A roll on the 1 on the wrath die triggers Perils of the Warp. And then obviously if I get enough, I activate it. But I am going to make it bound, which means he gets a bonus wrath die, which obviously means he's got more chance of massively messing up. So an unbound power, roll your psychic mastery will test with 1 bonus wrath die in the pool. Any psychic mastery tests you made this must be unbound, blah, 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 blah. So then let's have a look at the difficulty for this power. Smite. I'm trying to find. It's a minor psychic power. Did I go past it? It's a basic one, isn't it? Which page is it on?
Don't know, but I remember when I ran the game at Dragon Meet, it was something like a 4.
Why can't I find it? Telekinetic power? No.
Universal?
Yeah, I always hate trying to navigate powers. There's always
Yeah, so it's Universal 272.
272, that's what we want. This is why it's brilliant.
Difficulty targets defense.
Excellent. Okay, so who am I going to pick? Let's roll die, as always. Oh no, okay, so I rolled a 5, because there's 4 of you, and the 5th one is that poor guardsman sergeant. He turns round, seeing the psyker, starts shooting lasgun rounds at the psyker, and then missing wildly. And oh, interesting. I say interesting because the psyker fails and also gets a 1 on the wrath die. You watch as energy begins to build up, its eyes bulging with power. And now, because I rolled this, I think someone else should roll for me the Perils of the War. So who wants to roll a D66 for me?
Sure.
Go on, Weir, roll a D66.
Yeah, 32.
He's got a 32. An overwhelming paranoia of something watching creeps over you, with everyone within 20 meters. Lesser creatures and animals cowering fear, while the sentient creatures must make a successful difficulty number 4 willpower test or suffer uncontrollable compunction to second guess all their actions, and thus are hindered. The effects last for the remainder of the scene. So his power doesn't trigger, and instead he just drops to the ground, looking around, totally in fear, and the rest of you are also overwhelmed by this paranoia. The guardsman sergeant with you starts looking, goes, "It's the wall!" and just starts shooting his las gun, unloading the entire clip, firing las blasts at it. So who wants to pass some willpower checks? Difficulty number
Can I use a glory point, because I only have willpower 2?
Yes.
Go on then,
4
yeah.
successes?
Yeah, that's the last glory point.
Does my fearless apply to this or no?
It doesn't really, but I'm going to give you a bonus 2 die to it.
Okay.
So where you look, you're completely paranoid, and you just look at the others, and you've just drawn your power sword and just pointing at them. ID Fortran, it's literally turned into a Mexican standoff with everyone just pulling guns on each other.
I got my chainsword out.
3. That's still not quite enough. Does anyone want to roll a wrath?
I've used all my wrath.
Has anyone got any wrath left?
No,
I do.
I do, but I don't want to use it. I like our Mexican standoff.
Yeah.
That was an exalted icon.
I'm quite happy
so
pointing my gun at
5 now.
Rufio's head.
That's 5. Okay. And that wasn't on the wrath die.
It was.
It was. That's a glory point back. Doesn't it also... No, so does it... It doesn't generate you wrath points unless it's in combat.
Yeah.
You come to your wits of what's going on, and realizing that something terrible is at work, and you spot the psycho just over there, also crouched on the floor, the center of this psychic phenomena. I think we know what Weir's about to do.
Yeah, Weir's going to stride over and just deftly head the psyker.
Yeah, go on then.
Six.
To hit.
Yes.
Yeah, that's by excess of 3, so you can certainly shift any extra damage dice if you want.
Yeah, I will.
If you've got any to shift, yeah.
Yeah, I have 1.
Got an armor of 4. You're gonna more than likely decapitate this psyker.
$11.
Yeah, you in one executional sweep decapitate the psycho. The head rolls off, and from their neck, rather than blood, you just watch a billowing miasma of psychic energy erupt. Kind of like think when the Kurgan gets killed at the end of Highlander. Screaming faces are in this energy as they dissipate, and then the body slumps down, and everyone else, that paranoia you've been feeling, is shaken off.
My rifle pointed at Rufio's head.
My bolt pistol would have been pointed at Rufio too.
What the shit?
I'm gonna walk over and I'm gonna pick the head up.
Oh, hold on, everyone. Whose head is that? Does that match the picture right here in our data files?
No.
For Andros? No,
it's not.
No? Okay, we gotta keep going.
Shit.
Just toss it over my shoulder. Like,
All right.
You carry on forward, and you hear murmuring from where
Where's
you are.
meat shield?
You
Yeah,
realize
meat shield's in front.
Okay.
You realize that the murmuring is from the center of this level, where the lift would be, and you start heading in that direction. If you want to head in that direction.
Oh yeah.
Push the meat shield out in front of us.
There is illumination, crackling of energy, similar to what you saw from the psyker you just faced. Sat in the central chamber amidst a pile of bodies, guards and administrators of the prison, surrounded by murder servitors, various, basically servitors with various attachments to essentially dismember at a moment's notice any psyker that steps out of line if they have to put them down. So they're covered in like chainswords and bolt guns or other things. Or actually, I think there's mostly a servitor that's carrying a heavy bolter. There's a handful of other psykers literally floating about, freed from their chains, and they roam the area, driven mad by the darkness and terror of this bleak place. And you realize at the center, from your visions, this is Andros. And as he is using his power, but he seems to be lost in his own thoughts as he sat there amongst this scene of gore and madness. And your own nightmares are intruding on your own minds, things that you've just seen. He's in a trance, though he is awake, but not fully aware, it seems, of his surrounding as you approach.
Are we going to go into combat now then, I guess?
It's up to you what you want to do.
I'm going to aim at him and take a pot shot right through his forehead.
Does my stealth roll from earlier still count?
Yeah.
Okay, so I had 9 icons on that, so I'm just going to start moving towards him, circling.
Okay.
Avoiding the.
So I'm going to stand still. I'm going to aim and shoot through his. I'm sorry. I'm actually taking the aim action. Shoot through his head on full auto.
Right.
With rapid fire 1. So this gives me 1 extra dice for aiming, 2 extra dice for full auto, and I can't remember what rapid fire does.
Rapid fire will give you an extra number of dice to the attack, does it not?
Quick look.
It's in war gear, weapons, weapon traits.
I'm in combat.
Rapid fire X. If you hit with a rapid fire weapon at short range, you gain extra damage dice equal to the weapon's rapid fire rating. That's what it is.
Am I at short range?
No. Because
Okay,
you want to do this at a bit of distance because you want to have the element of surprise. And you've got like a scope, haven't you? So you can shoot quite happily at this range.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've got augmetics as well. You're a pretty good marksman for the group.
Yeah, so this is 10 dice.
Yeah, let me just see. His defense is 4.
Cool. I have 2 exalted and 4 icons. Can I shift those 2 exalted across?
Yep.
Damage, which gives me 10 plus 3. So this has rending 1 as well, so it removes 1 point of armor. That is just 10 points of damage.
Wow, okay. You fire the shot off, and the sizzling shot of your galvanic rifle hits something in midair, inches away from his face, and dissipates.
Oh shit. It was a full auto, so it would have been multiple.
Yeah, so it's multiple shots.
All of them just kind of
slam
disappearing
into this invisible force field of energy.
Ugh.
He doesn't seem to respond to it and just reaches out with his mind. I'm going to make his first action directly against ID Fortran because he's done stuff. So I'm going to try and do some psychic powers with him. They will be unbound, so it will also mean things go completely out of control for him, more than likely. He's got a lot of dice, though, for this. That's how many dice is that there? 8.
I'm not terrified that 10 damage doesn't hurt him.
Well,
No.
yeah, he's maintaining a psychic shield, clearly.
Fortran doesn't know this. That's not mechanical.
That's not mechanical. That's not mechanical, he says. Let me find the psychic powers again. Oh god, I hate trying to navigate books on digital only. I'll be so glad once this book's in print. What page is inflict pain on? Let me find. Is it is it a telepathy power? Is it a generic power? It's a generic power.
Yeah, it's on 269.
There we go. This is the great thing when everyone's got a book open, you can find stuff so fast. Difficulty. Okay, this should be. You should do this with no issue. Yeah. Oh dear. Oh dear. Nope. Yeah, I have to roll on Perils of Walk for him already.
Hey.
He gets a. Oh no.
It says inflict pain has no effect on targets that aren't truly alive.
Yeah, but you are alive.
As much as you wish you weren't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Flesh is weak.
The power doesn't work, but you watch all the other psychers around him drop to the floor, gasping for air. This feeling reaches all of you. The air thins. You suffer a shortness of breath and dizziness. All creatures without artificial breathing apparatus now count as hindered for 1 minute. In addition, 1 wrath die must be added to all psychic mastery tests for the remainder of the scene. So yes, all of you are gasping for breath, except for ID Fortran. You have iron lungs. You don't care.
The flesh is weak. That's not human.
So who wants to act next? Because I've done his stuff.
I would love to act next.
Hindered basically means you get -2. Difficulty number is by +2 for this.
Okay.
For any actions you make now.
Okay. Well, I just watched him stop a bunch of rounds from his rifle.
Yeah.
Mere inches from his face. So I'm going to methodically, in stealth, I had 9 successes, work my way around the room behind him. And I'm going to take my time. I can move. I don't take penalties for moving at full speed, but especially with the hindered, I'm going to take my time.
Okay. And you're not going to do anything else. You're just moving into position. You're not going to launch an attack this turn.
Psychers on the floor not doing much.
No, they're all breathing, gasping for breath. He's literally just drained the area of oxygen.
Attack him.
I'm worried that he will destroy one of my power blades, so I'm going to pull a knife out and attempt to stab him in the back of the neck. From stealth.
Okay.
Okay.
Go for it.
I'm guessing we're going to have to destroy the other psychers first, because they might be
Really?
feeding him.
8 with 3.
Yeah, you hit.
Yeah, 8.
You just need to do damage to him.
All right. This is E.
Remember to add your strength. Yeah.
Can I transfer any of my exalted icons into damage?
Yeah. As long as you've got 4 successes in total.
Okay, so I'll
On the
move
hit.
2 of them in.
Yeah.
For damage. 4, 6. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 5. 5 damage.
5 damage. Yeah, you launch forward and you leap up into the air as if you were like some shadow moving, cast by something that isn't there against the light. And as you descend down upon him, your blade reaches to about, I don't know, maybe about that far away, and you hit something in the air, and then you're thrown back away. And you look at your blade and realize the entire of it has been, the end of the blade is crumpled by the force that you impacted against.
They are power. Your normal weapons are power weapons, aren't they?
It's a normal.
Does anybody have any force weapons?
I think it's time now for something that he has control over and is also in the room to have an action that doesn't need to breathe.
Murder servitors.
Murder servitors. Combat servitor. There we go. Yay. What the gun servitor. Yep. One of them, is the size of an ogre, and its hands are replaced with clasping servo grips, and it turns and points with its other arm, which is basically a massive, heavy bolter, and turns to fire at you. What's the stats of a servitor?
Duck and roll.
Right.
Ballistic skill 5. It's just going to start shooting down the corridor at any of you indiscriminately. It doesn't really care. What's your? Well, it's just shooting randomly. I'll spread the damage across, the shots across everyone. So it's if I
There is a spray action.
Yeah, don't worry. It's definitely not got enough successes against your defenses. It's only got 1. So you essentially duck or get close to the wall or go prone as heavy bolter rounds spatter around you, shredding the walls of the corridor, and even penetrating through the walls and stripping out the prison cells around you. You hear screams of people inside as they're peppered with shots and exploded apart.
Just looked at the heavy bolter weapon. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's brutal heavy 4. Yeah, it does a lot of damage. It's salvo 3. So yeah, who wants to act next?
A lot of Wilhelm screams going on. All right, I'll go.
Right.
Are there any other psychers that are close to me?
If you approach, there are psychics close to you that you could potentially execute quite quickly. There's about, let's say, there's like three rogue other rogue psychers.
I will approach the closest one that requires me to do the least amount of movement because I can't breathe. And take my chainsword and actually no, I'm going to take the bolt pistol because I can do more damage.
Yeah, I assumed you were going to do executions.
Yep. just gonna start executing.
Oh my god. Come on then.
Yeah.
Commissar classic. She got a taste for blood this episode and just kept going.
The thirst for power is real. All right, I got 2 icons and an exalted icon on my wrath die.
Well, then you've hit.
All right.
You can't shift anything, so you just need to roll damage.
All right. That is 10 plus my...
Oh, pistols are 10?
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
do
10.
13.
30. Yeah, you explode the poor psyker's head with. Yeah, they're dead. They're very, very dead.
All right. Awesome. That's my turn. I'm assuming I can't get to another one and shoot him, so.
No, you would have to have made a multiple action to do that.
Yep. Scorpio.
Well, no, they get an action. Something else gets an action. I'm going to let one of the. Let's see. We've got psychers. We've got murder servitors. I'm going to have one of the servitors move forward. I imagine that Rufio is mostly going to be closing the ground anyway, because he's got like a bolt pistol and a chainsword, haven't you, Rufio?
Las pistol, but yeah.
Oh, las pistol. Sorry, I thought you had better armor. Yeah, you're going to go forward with your chainsword.
Lighter.
The servitor moves forward and will attack you with its server arm, reaching out for you to grasp and crush your throat. What's your defense?
My defense is 2, but I can parry this with my chainsword. So I think it's defense 3 in this case.
Yeah, it's defense 3, yeah. And it strikes you with its servo arm. It reaches out and grabs onto your arm and crunches down. Damage-wise, what will a servo arm do? How much damage does a normal chainsword do?
5.
5 plus strength. 5. Okay, let's call it 8 with 2 extra damage dice. What's your armor?
It is 4. Armor rating 4.
So
Need your resilience.
Against your resilience, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. 9. My resilience is 9.
Yeah, you basically just take a point of damage as it crushes down onto your flak armor. You hear it cracking under the strain of the servos. You get to fight back though, and your arm is free with your chainsword.
It is indeed, and my chainsword flips on. You hear the of it revving up as it crunches down on the fleshy portions of the servitor. With a whopping 4 icons.
That's a hit, yeah.
Yep, 1 is an exalted, so I can shift that forward into
You
the
definitely
damage.
shift that, yeah.
All right. And that is. Now I add my strength to the chainsword, correct? So that would be a 11 damage.
Yeah, you slice through the servitor and it collapses in a heap. It doesn't have really any armor. You chop off its arm and it's spurting oil and blood everywhere. And due to the critical damage it suffered, it begins to shut down.
Makes sense.
Right, I think that's everyone's acted. So we'll go in initiative order now. I've got initiative 5 on the psyker. Who's got higher than initiative 5?
Let's see here. I got 2.
Excellent. So Mr. Psyker is going to utilize another power. He's going to try and do Terrify, which, if I can look it up quickly. Where are we? So I'm navigating multiple books at the same time, which is never fun with this. Where are we? Psychic powers. There we go. What type of psychic power is it? Terrify should be a telepathy, I imagine. Unless someone finds it for me. Yeah, I've got it. Okay, cool. But his perils of the warp has increased due to everything he's done previously. So he's now got 11 dice on this test, but he's rolling technically 3 perils of the warp dice. So he might just pop if you're lucky.
Isn't he also? Is he still hindered? Is he hindered as well?
He's not hindered by it now, because it would have been for the round. So you're no longer hindered. Okay, I've rolled 1 already on his perils of the warp, and the other 2 dice, yeah. So it's perils of the warp again, and his power doesn't trigger.
Nice.
And he gets a 44, which is all creatures within 15 meters of you suffer a ring in the ear and a taste the bitterness of iron. During the next round, all melee attacks count as gaining +1 ED. So everyone gets extra damage dice in combat.
Melee.
Yeah. You watch him, grasp his head, the energies of the warp going haywire, and you feel, in your throat that growing bile, that need to kill. I guess Weir goes first, and he feels it strongest. You haven't felt this in a long time. I believe you're mostly going to launch forward with both of your power swords ready to impale him.
I'm worried about whether or not my power swords can pierce this telepathic field he has. But I also have a bloodthirst. So I'm going to try, yeah. I'm actually going to take multiple actions. I'm going to hit him with 1.
Go on then.
I like that.
I mean, you could make 3 attacks in total and not gain any extra difficulty on it, right?
Yep. That's 7 with 2 exalted icons.
So that's a hit. Difficulty 4, remember, so you can shift any extra damage dice if you want.
Shift both of them over.
Yep.
I'm going to shift 1 to damage and put 1 in the glory pool.
Sure.
And that gives me that for damage, plus 1 more ED?
1 more ED basic, plus the one you shifted, so it's +2.
Okay.
So these crackling swords are hopefully going to penetrate his energy shield.
18?
18! Wow! Holy crap!
We were discussing this on our break. I can max out at 25 if I attack from stuff.
Okay, so let me just see how many wounds he's got. Yes, it's your blade hits the energy field. There's a spray of sparks, and then you feel it give, and it keeps slicing through, and you slash through his back. There's a bloodying him, and he steps forward. Well, no, he's already kneeling down, so he just lurches forward. Your second attack?
Yes.
That's terrifying. I mean, you're pretty much capable of going toe-to-toe with a space marine, actually.
Sweet.
That's 6 with 2 exalted icons and 1 on the wrath die. One of which is
well,
on the wrath die.
That's a critical hit then.
Yes.
Okay, let me find the critical hit table. So, critical hits. You could spend, am I right? You're thinking, what was it glory? You could spend the glory to increase the critical hits that you roll.
Yes.
The level of it.
It's glory.
Yep. Okay. Roll a d66.
66.
No.
Yes. I told you this die is rolling really well today. It's because I rolled my wrath die as part of that.
ID Fortran holsters his gun, turns around, walks out, and says, "No more."
Okay.
Retrain.
I don't think I've got enough ruin even to soak all these mortal wounds that you're doing to him. So he loses a limb.
Okay, sounds right.
He suffers one mortal wound as a result. He loses an arm. Roll a d6.
I'm gonna roll my wrath die because I keep rolling 6s on it.
What is this about the flesh is weak? I'm just saying.
That's a 3.
Flesh is weak. Have you not seen how easy it is to...
Okay. Right. For every... Okay, so on an even result, he would have lost another limb.
Oh.
On an odd result, no, on an even result, you choose which limb he lost.
Okay.
Right? On an odd result, which is what you got, I get to choose which one. So I choose that he loses his right arm. It doesn't really matter. Now, here's the extra thing. You can now spend extra glory, and for every glory point you spend, inflicts another mortal wound on him.
How much glory do we have?
There's
Use it all.
2
Use it all.
glory in the pool.
I
Do you want to
just put
spend
one
all
in.
of them?
Oh,
Dump
yeah.
it.
I'm happy for you to use them all.
Did you use a glory to upgrade the result?
No, but I put a glory into the pool last.
Yeah.
And I rolled.
So now you
and
can,
on this attack roll, one.
Yeah.
I had a 6 on this, which should have put it on.
so you could spend all 3,
Yep.
and that will not. I can't stop it. Basically, that means all his ruin to soak the damage with his psychic shield fails. You again pirouette. Again, your sword hitting the psychic shield, and it pierces through, and you slice him in half, and he falls dead. Everything else, the psychers around you, collapse. The aura of the psychic wave he's been generating falls apart. Suddenly, the prison feels less like some nightmarish hell and feels more like a prison.
Flesh is weak.
Is Commissar Danica still just executing psychers?
Yes.
Actually,
psychers-
I'm gonna find if there are any guards.
Yeah.
And wake them up.
Yeah, the guards that you do find on other levels, or nearby, wake up. The wailing of the psychers in their prisons ends. The madness, the nightmare is over.
I'm going to order any guards that I wake up to get these prisoners back into their cells and get some order back into this place.
Yeah, after about, let's just say it takes about a good 2-3 hours to restore order in the prison. Obviously, even more executions occur with Danica leading who gets taken out and who isn't. You literally watch entire rooms of psychers executed en masse by murder servitors that are brought back under control. And after all of this carnage, after all of this complete madness, you return with some of the other guards that are now back in charge. You return back to the main chambers, to the above in the higher levels, with the corpse of Andras, obviously taken charge of. And you return to the main chamber with the scribe, who has seemingly come to his senses, and you're there before him as you basically list off, your sergeant, the sergeant that you brought under control, has a data slate, and he is listing every single psyker you've executed, and the scribe is just going through the list. Yes, marked, signed. And then prints off a thing. Commissar Danica, please sign here, and please use the correct stamp to seal this. We will return this to the praetor. I list in total 24 summary executions, including Psyker Andras. This is a lot of paperwork you have given me to do.
That is your job. That is what you are programmed to do.
Indeed, it is programmed. I'm not a mere machine like the Skitari there. I am a servant of the god Emperor, and you've given me much work to be done. However, the Emperor wills it.
I'm going. No, he's called me something that I'm not. I'm going to hack into him and fuck with his program in some way.
Sure. whatever ID4Chain's got to do.
I have an incoming
That is
transmission.
3 exalted.
God.
And 1 icon.
You hack into him.
He's mine. He's my new toy. I'm going to keep him as a pet.
Right. You begin to mess with him in whatever way you feel fit is humorous for the scene. But before it happens, you have an incoming transmission. Please go to the hollow sphere to the left of this chamber.
All right, I go.
Yep, can do.
And of course, before you, stood there, resplendent, is Lord Veronius. Of course, master of the fleet, and of course, trying to bring the entire system under his control. Commissar, your team has done well. You've brought this incident under control. I hear I'm already receiving reports. You can see him pull up a data slate. 24 summary executions, including this Andrus fellow. Were these all necessary?
They were protecting him.
Very well. I will assume you did things with the due diligence required. This should end for now our troubles with this portion of the hive. Did you find out if this was in any way related to the death of Ganthet Veneratio? Remember, we are still missing his brain.
Yes, indeed. Lord Veronius, it's currently unknown as to whether or not this was directly linked. It is occurring in the same district. However, we have found no evidence of the missing body parts. So we feel we may have to continue our investigation for some time on this planet. However, I would like to point out to you, if I may, an interesting development here. In the course of our investigation, we encountered several of the Eldari here on this planet. We didn't want to notify the local, or the commissar didn't want to notify the local government as a way to keep them from, these provincials from getting too out of hand and too alarmist. However, this may be something we have to deal with in the near future.
Interesting. I do have means of communicating with some of the Eldari in this sector.
My lord, I would like to speak with you further on this matter privately.
Yes, well, for now, you will not be remaining on the world of Charybdion in the near future. I understand your wish to further investigate the incidents and the loose ends regarding Ganthet Veneratio's death. However, I have another matter for you to deal with. I am sending you as to investigate an incident on another world in this system. And you will be returning back to my ship as soon as possible. An Aquila lander has been dispatched and will be landing on the upper level of the prison momentarily. For now, I thank you for your good work. You will be compensated appropriately, and of course, on your records, your valor and gallantry will be marked. Danica, this will surely at some point lead to, given that you are newly, this has been your first work after having graduated the Scholar, I believe at this point you are now, I think we can be satisfied that you are now a full commissar rather than a junior officer. And in return, Rufio, I will ensure that it is marked that you have at least some documentation that the Inquisition, if they ever come into contact with you, should look the other way. You will now have appropriate documentation representing that you are a lieutenant within my fleet.
Superb. Thank you, my
Simply
lord.
than just a simple private. ID Fortran, I've obviously, when we do have communication back to your forge, I will obviously send a communique suggesting you should be promoted. Though for the time being, I have sent further information of your work to the Forge world in the system. I think it benefits us both that you have some leverage there when we do have to deal with them.
That is my forge. I am from this system, so that is my.
Oh, you are from there, so there we go. Well, ignore what I said. Yes, you've been. He's suggesting you've promoted, and we're. There's very little we can do for you until you return to your temple. Though your good works are noted, and I've communicated that with the chief priest upon Charybdion. I've suggested that when you have need, that they should set aside chambers and somewhere where you can perform appropriate prayers to the God Emperor on this world. Charybdion will be our main base of operations for the time being, but you will be dispatched promptly once you return to my ship to another matter within the Gilead. Do you have any further comments?
I do not, my lord.
I would bring up Lord Veronius. If you have any additional communication with the Inquisition, I would encourage you to have them send another black ship this way as soon as they're able. I understand the difficulties, but
that is known, and obviously we do not have the means to communicate with them directly at this moment.
Indeed, understood.
However, it seems in some respects, Commissar Danica has alleviated the pressure on the prison population.
For a time. And I'm sure, Commissar, you would enjoy alleviating the pressure again in the future if it were so necessary, correct?
If necessary.
You could alleviate all the pressure now.
That is all I have to say. May the God Emperor protect you.
May the Omnis look after you, sir.
The communication ends. And that is the end of Sleepwalker. You will be heading to a very different world for a very different mission for the next session. And also, hopefully, if I organize things correctly, I think we should look to, we have a guest player lined up who has an astropath character that we can showcase for that. So we can discuss who we want, which players we want to swap in and out, because I think, we don't want to get too bloated with the number of players. So if
I might have to skip a couple of weeks soon anyway.
Well, that might be a good plan. So I will see what I can organise on that front. With the end of that session, of course, we have numerous things to say. So first of all, if you've enjoyed this, please go back and look at all the other sessions we've run. If you enjoyed this, please go over to the Dark Days Radio Twitch, where you can watch our session of Soulbound. That should have been on Gehenna Gaming, but due to technical issues, it was not last time. But Soulbound is the Age of Sigmar RPG, and of course, we will love to run some more of that in the near future, including we'll have a fantasy roleplay when we have the planning and everything to run that. Of course, if you want more Warhammer RPG content, go over to Dark Days Radio Darkhammer episodes. If you want more interesting interviews and episodes about anything else, go over to Dark Days Radio and over to Gaming's own Twitch episodes of everything else and podcasts. Of course, more content is found on our Facebook, our Instagram, our Discord, and our blog, which our blog doesn't move on too fast with stuff, but obviously it has a list of all the episodes you can ever find. Of course, again, thank you to Ian, David, Crystal, and Mike for taking part. It's a shame that Jake wasn't about, because he could have used like Deny the Witch prayers and everything else. But you're still doing okay. You still
We have a
look
weir.
fine.
We don't need anything else.
And yeah, if you enjoy that, please get in contact with us with ideas that you go, hey, that'll be cool. We want to see Eldari, or we want to see, I don't know, Chaos Space Marines or something. Or maybe you want all the players to be Eldari, because we could always do a one-shot where everyone's, an episode, a series of sessions which are an episode where everyone's Eldari Corsairs? I don't know.
Yep.
A Gehenna Gaming Dark Eldari episode? Huh?
Oh, God, I'm
wanna
not doing Dark Eldar. We'll just do Corsairs.
I keep asking. Okay, that's fine.
Space Elf Pirates, what more do you want?
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, no, that kind of fits every niche. Fantastic. Again, thank you everyone who tuned in. We will be back in 2 weeks, and until then, you can find all the content over on Gehenna YouTube channel. Find Gehenna Gaming across everything as Gehenna Gaming. Procure and GehennaGame.com, etc., etc. And
and of course, right now, if you're watching this, there is a sale right now on Drive-Thru RPG Storyteller Vault, which is for all Chronicles of Darkness products. I think it's 25% off. And of course, that includes all our community content, of which there are 6 books from Darker Days Radio on there, which includes work with the most recent one, which is Secret Frequency Files 2, which includes work of everyone of Darker Days Radio on there. So by all means, go over there, and that's a great way of supporting us, because if you like stuff, we'll write more shit for you to read.
And if you have ideas for what you want us to write, please let us know.
Yes.
Yeah. And we've got something very, very special coming up soon that is werewolf related. I cannot say anything more. It is special.
fantastic.
Oh, I know. I got it now.
Yeah.
Excellent. With that, thank you everyone who tuned in, and we will catch you. I will see you all in a couple days, but we will see you in 2 weeks. But yeah, tune in. What's today? Today's Sunday. Tomorrow for Monster Hearts 2. Tuesday, I will be interviewing Ian A. Watson about Trinity.
Classic.
Wednesday, we'll have Worlds and Crafts. Thursday, I'll be back playing a new video game. I haven't decided which one. And back to our normal schedule. Thank you all, and have a good day.
Bye.